everyone. Welcome to Heart to Heart. It is a fantastic Wednesday. The sun is coming, shining in. It's just a beautiful day, a beautiful day. We have another great guest today. Her name is Karolin Velliste. We're discussing surrender to love. How to go from like an anxious attachment style, always feeling like I need to know where my partner is, to feeling secure, feeling good in your relationship. And it does come with surrender. It does come in those moments. And I can say from experience, I used to be really anxious when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships and everything. I wasn't always the best person. So I'm excited to help you as well. Help you, the audience, to surrender to love. All right. I think you're there, Carolyn. I saw I saw you there.
Okay.
Can you
Hi.
see me?
Yes, I don't know what happened there. I think there's a little bit of a glitch, but I'm here. I can see you.
Yeah, you're good. I just can't see you, but sometimes that happens with Instagram. It's all good. I'm gonna actually real quickly check my other phone
Okay,
and see, because normally when this happens, it's fine. How are you today?
I'm good.
How are you
How are you?
doing? Pretty
Amazing.
good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead. You said what?
Oh, I was gonna say that I started my day with a really beautiful meditation, and I'm feeling really good. Like my day, it always feels so much better when I started off right energetically.
I'm with you on that. When I started with the meditation, I did some type of gratitude meditation today because I always vary it up. But a lot of times it definitely involves gratitude, just getting into that space of being thankful for what I have because we can get some in the moment. And this relates to what we're talking about. We can feel like we want to have so much control over everything in
Mm-hmm.
life and in our relationship. What do you say about that? This desire to have control over our partner or control over the weather or control over just anything.
Yeah. So I think that it's very relatable to want to have control. And a lot of us, like, we might not think of ourselves as controlling. And it's not to say that you're controlling in a toxic way, right? Like when we hear that word, we tend to shy away from it because we don't want to associate ourselves with that word. No, like I'm not controlling, like I'm not toxic. But
Right.
it's not about we actually can be very um not controlling, but we can be attached to the need to be in control. Um because we want things, right? Like I think when you feel passionately about things and when you have very, very deep desires, like I really desire to have a successful career, or
Hmm.
when it comes to relationships, right? Like I want to have a long lasting relationship with someone that I can share my life with. Um, like when you have these dreams, like you want them to come true. And so you're going to do everything that you can, everything in your power to make it happen, to be in control of the outcome. And so that's what I mean when I say like a lot of us, we actually do have issues with control, because we hold on so tightly, right? Like we grasp so hard. Like my life has to look a certain way, it has to work out with this person. I have to get my dream job, things like that. And, like it really ends up being very counterproductive, because for multiple reasons, but one of them that's coming through as I'm speaking is we get disappointed, if it doesn't go the way that we wanted, right? And so we set ourselves up for failure in a way because we have this like one track mind. If it has to go a certain way, and if it doesn't, we're so disappointed, and we don't open our perspective to the possibility that maybe the reality that we were given is actually even better than the one that we wanted. But we're so focused on what we didn't get, that, and like circling back to what you said about gratitude, that we forget to be grateful for what we were actually blessed with.
Yeah, because it is that attachment. Because I can even think back to high school and college when I was desiring to get my first boyfriend and I want to date and I want to do all this. I had you like you're describing, Carolyn, this dream picture. He's got to be like this. He's got to look like this. He's got to do this. And if he doesn't match this, I don't want him. Like it wasn't, but it was that dream. But because of the dream, I couldn't see any other possibilities. So what you're saying, it in a way, do you feel dreams can be damaging if we're too attached?
Mm, that's a very, very, very good question. And I think it's not that it's bad to dream. I think it's about walking like this fine line between, because I think the danger of not dreaming is then you just live an apathetic life. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that it's not to be apathetic and to not have desires. Um, I think it's I think it's about not swinging too far on either side, right? Like, it's not healthy to be so attached to your desires that life is always falling short for you. And then on the other hand, there's people that say, "Oh, I like to set my expectations low so that I don't get disappointed." And I mean, I think it's a good thing to not. I'm just making this up as I go. Like sometimes when I speak, certain messages will come through, and I feel called to describe it in this way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not about having high expectations, but you can still have standards for your life, right? Like it's okay if your life doesn't look the way that you want it to look. Like, yeah, use your free will to change it. Um, but I think that it's also about the mix of letting go of expectations and also just, yeah, surrendering to, if you believe in God, to surrender to God's will for your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that can look very different for everyone. Like maybe you think it's just like the universe or just or like fate. Um, there's room for interpretation for everyone's belief system. But I think that your dreams are put in your heart for a reason, and also it's kind of like this contradiction, right, where sometimes it doesn't go the way that you want it to. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get your dream, um but maybe it just won't happen the way that your human brain thinks that it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's so cool because our human brain will have us thinking all kinds of stuff. It'll have It'll have me over here assuming things, the worst about my boyfriend or this person. And that's what we're discussing. Like, how do you were really describing this. One of the things I picked up was like standards are different than high expectations. So it's not that we should not establish standards, but if my expectations are way up here and nobody can meet them, what's happening here? Like I have to I have to come to some place of surrender. I have to come to some place where I analyze, is this me? Like is am I maybe I'm the issue here? Like
Yeah.
maybe I'm too attached.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of maturity and a lot of wisdom to be able
Hmm.
to say, yeah, maybe I'm the problem sometimes.
Yeah, because I am the problem when we first tap in on this. Because I know this is one thing you really specialize in is helping people feel more secure in their relationships, going from like this anxiety, anxious, I got to know everything, I got to be like going from anxious to secure. What makes that transition really relevant for you? Like, have you had your own personal story of that transition?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I used to be so anxious. I think of this time at the I always talk about this example because I think it's very relatable, and it really illustrates where I used to be versus where I am now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I've been with my boyfriend Nick for over 3 years now, and at the very very beginning of our relationship, when we were like freshly boyfriend and girlfriend, um, I was so triggered by little things. One time we were going through the Starbucks drive-through to just get ourselves some coffee, and it, all he said was "Hey" to the person working the drive-through window, and I thought the way that he said "Hey," I thought he was like flirting
Oh,
with the
gracious. Right, right.
it could it could literally be something as simple as like reading into someone's tone, right? Like just because he was being friendly, turns out like he just recognized this person because he was a regular at that location, and so they just recognized each other. It was not that deep. It was
It was
not
cool.
like he was not flirting at all. Um, but I was freaking out so bad. Like my entire energy changed. It just drops. Um, like that feeling of like your heart beating really fast, and you're kind of like
Hmm.
out of your body a little bit, and you're like, oh my god, like he's flirting with someone else. Like I'm not safe. And then
And
he
you're
noticed
right
that.
there too. That's the worst part. Like you're doing this and I'm in the car in the Starbucks line. What's happening?
And
Like,
yeah, I mean, and it's really sad that we learn to expect that from our partner because of past bad experiences that we've had, because that's
mhm.
not normal, right? Like that is not normal, for your partner to be flirting with someone right in front of you, or at all, obviously. um so yeah, I don't know, it's actually kind of sad that we learn to expect it. But basically, he noticed that something was wrong, and we talked about it, and he explained everything. And once the situation was cleared up, I was like, oh, that is so silly. Like, that moment where you have to just laugh at yourself because you're like,
You
wow,
do.
like I was the one, I really made up this whole story about what happened, and I hurt my own feelings.
That's a bold statement right there. I hurt my own feelings.
I really think we do it sometimes. Like you can have anxious attachment, and you can be with someone who loves you, who's loyal to you, who would never betray you, and you can still feel so insecure because of incidents like what I just described. But
Hmm.
basically, yeah, I mean, I don't have time to describe every single thing that I did, but I went on this journey. I learned to come back to myself, and I learned how to find reassurance from within myself. So now, honestly, I rarely get triggered at all. I think
Yeah.
it's normal. Like triggers are a part of life, but it doesn't have to be constant, right? And I feel so secure in my relationship now. Like I trust him so much. Um, I just feel happy. I feel safe.
Yeah, that's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like how, because somebody is going to ask, how long did that take from you to not feel triggered by something similar to what happened at Starbucks to where you are right now?
Hmm. Um, You know, it's hard to say an exact timeline just because there's layers to the healing.
Mm-hmm.
A massive transformation did happen for me specifically in just the span of 8 weeks because in late 2021, I was in a coaching program that was specifically about um, finding your sovereignty. And um, that's just a fancy way of saying what I was describing earlier about learning to rely on the self. Um, and so I think that if you get yourself into a very intimate healing space with the right person that's right for you, transformation can happen very rapidly. Like 8 weeks is not a long time for to be doing this
It's
type of
nice.
work. Um, and so I would say there was a significant improvement that I made in just those 2 months. Um, and then, I did have to continue to implement that work as I went on. So it has been a few years since then. Um, but yeah, you can see like a massive spike in improvement in a short amount of time. It really is possible.
You got me thinking about something because you said the name of that like program you was in was about to rediscovering your sovereignty. What does sovereignty have to do with surrender?
Yeah.
Like how are those two things connected?
Ooh, I like this question.
Yeah, because it just what came to mind. Like how do they even link?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that before. Let's talk about that. Um, you know, it's actually really funny that you mentioned that because a lot of the time I actually like to say that sovereignty is tied to having control, but a healthy kind of control. Um,
Hmm.
right? Because when when you expect for your partner to always be reassuring you, for example, it's like I'm not okay unless he texts me back, or unless things are okay
That
between
was me. Oh my gosh. No, I'm being honest.
Isn't that so relatable? Like, or yeah, if something goes wrong in my relationship, then everything is wrong. Like, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't be happy. Like, you're giving away so much of your power. And so, like, when you really remind yourself, like, you are a powerful individual, out, like, regardless of
Mhm.
your relationship to any other human, um, you actually reclaim. Ooh, I'm seeing the pieces come together. Okay, you
Ooh,
reclaim your
tell me. Tell me.
you reclaim your control, right? You reclaim your power because you remember that you don't need permission from anything or anyone outside of you to be safe or to be happy or to be okay. Like that's ultimately, I think, the heart of the issue for women with anxious attachment is, do I have permission to be okay? Um,
Mm.
right? And so when you realize, like, I was actually in control this whole time of determining whether I am okay in this life or not, now that you're in the driver's seat, now that you're in control, you can safely let go of control because
Mm.
you're not letting go of control from this disempowered place of I'm a victim to my life. Oh my god, it's Metzley in the chat. Hi.
I know. I thought. Yeah, she's here.
So you're not letting go of control from this disempowered place of, oh, if someone hurts me, they hurt me. Oh, I'm such a victim. I'm not in control. It's not about that. It's, I can safely let go of expectation. I can safely let go of attachment to the outcome because at the end of the day, I am sovereign. I've got my own back.
Mm.
I am going to be okay. It is safe for me to surrender.
Oh,
Ah,
dear. You just said a lot. You wrapped that nicely. And the major word I heard, Carolyn, was like safely. Like it's like this. I don't know. I saw like a net. Like I'm being cared for. I'm being cradled. Like if we're talking about a baby, like I'm safe in my parents' arms. And it's not just I have to have this overwhelming control and da 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 da. There's a safety in that feeling of knowing I'm sovereign. I've already had the power. I already had this within me. Oh, this is very revealing.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah. I I love just talking about this because, I actually learned about myself recently that um, some of my best ideas come from talking to other people,
Hmm.
right? There's something about having another human to reflect things back to you. And I'm a manifesting generator.
I
And
was
so,
about
like,
to ask you about that because you was making me think about human design.
no, it was because of human design specifically, actually. And so as a generator, right? I need things to respond to. It can be very difficult, honestly, for me to sit there on my own and just kind of like come up with these ideas to share with people. But since we're in this space together and I have someone to respond to, I can like these insights, they come through, in ways that I myself haven't necessarily even thought about it before. So this is really cool for me as well.
Yeah, it is cool. And you just, I'm always having thoughts. It's like the thoughts just keep coming. And this is why it's called heart to heart, because it's like, it seems random, but it's intuitive. So, what you're describing about you meeting that other person or benefiting from the other person and getting the ideas is making me think about the romantic partnership. How, when we have that partnership, we sometimes use our partner as a target and not a reflection, as a mirror. So, and this all goes back to our topic, surrender to love. If we're always looking at our partner as a target, he did this, I can't believe she did that. Oh, here we go again. She triggered me. It's all of this. We miss the opportunities to see that reflection, to have those conversations where we actually grow. And that's part of the surrender. Have you ever considered that? Like sometimes in our partnerships, we are actually attacking when we should be reflecting.
Mm, yeah,
I don't know, that just came to me.
that's really Yeah, yeah. When you say that, I feel the energy of being closed off versus being open. And it's interesting because it's kind of like an inverse effect where when you're attacking on the outside, you're very like you're going forward, right? You're coming at someone, but you're actually doing it because you're very closed off, right? Your heart is very closed off. You only attack someone when you're actually defending yourself, right? Versus when you're open, you're actually more receptive. You're actually okay with not coming on so strong, right? Like you're open to accepting the other person as they are. Um yeah, and you're so right. Like sometimes because we are human and because we're very wounded and because we have egos, we can we can turn to the one person who we know is supposed to be like if you right like if you consider yourself to really value monogamy, right, and to really value this one sacred beautiful connection with another human, and like that's what you want for yourself, um and this is supposed to be the person who like I'm sharing life peacefully with and beautifully, but the temptation to like turn around and like make them the enemy is, let's just say it, but I think we're afraid to admit that we do this. But
Mm.
I think everyone in a deep relationship with another human has done this. And everyone. There's no way that you haven't.
I mean,
Right.
I know I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're afraid to admit it, but we all do it. We really we hold resentment against other humans. We hold grudges. We blame other people for our own suffering, and sometimes we blame the one person that our soul deep down knows that we don't want to, right? But we do it anyway because we're hurt.
Yeah, because it comes to restate what you said, it comes from this outward expression. Like I'm going to attack because I'm not really secure within. It feels easy. Like it comes easy to just say, it's their fault. It's because of him. It's because of her that I did. I know I did this a lot with my parents before I got to like doing my own personal healing work. It's because of my mom, this happened. It's
Mm.
because of my dad. And then I had to learn to forgive them because it really wasn't, I just had to be. Like I had to learn to be. It wasn't totally on them.
Oh yeah. 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 That's so real. That is so relatable. Um, yeah, it can be really easy to actually fall into a victim mentality, I think. And
Hmm.
it's normal. I don't even say that with any sort of shame attached to it, right? Because another thing that I really don't like, I don't like this. When I see people on, of course, it's on the internet. um, but when I see people online criticizing others really, really harshly for, like being in some sort of a victim mindset.
Mm.
Because I think it really is a normal part of life, right? To feel sorry for ourselves. Because what's interesting is that there's actually, you have to respect yourself at least a little bit to feel sorry for yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
um because you wouldn't feel bad for yourself unless you recognize that you deserve more, and that you deserve respect and to be happy. Um but yeah, it makes me sad when people talk about these things through a lens of shame, because it's not productive, right? I think obviously, like, it's not healthy to just be a victim in your life.
Mhm.
But we can show compassion. I think that, yeah, people who are in that state need the compassion in order um to heal. Yeah. Love heals
That
everything,
compassion.
not judgment.
Because we judge ourselves. We really do judge ourselves because I believe a lot of that comes from us thinking we're the only ones. But many of the things we're discussing and highlighting today, we've all been there. Like we said, we're afraid to admit this. Like, I'm attacking my partner or I'm going to say something naughty. But there's shame around it because we think I'm the only one who does this. Why
Yeah.
can't I get it
Oh
together?
yeah.
Like everybody else is so perfect, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's really it's so funny because when you really think about it, it's extremely unrealistic to think that you're the only one that does it. But I think,
Uh,
yeah, this is our collective shadow as humans, right? Yeah, there's things that I think our entire society colludes, like we work together to hide these parts of being human because it's shameful, because it's bad, because we're not allowed to step up and admit that we do it. um but there's power there's so much healing to be found Like, I love this. I love that you call this heart to heart because that's exactly what we're doing right now, right? Like we're opening up in ways that we wouldn't normally do in a day-to-day setting. And we're healing because of it, right? Because speaking your truth and owning up to the shadows of being human um is actually a very productive thing. And it doesn't have to be as scary as we think that it's going to be if, going back to safety, if there is a safe person to be receiving that from. Yeah.
Yeah, we need those safe places, safe people. Because, like, I'm I'm looking at the title on my screen here, like surrender to love. Makes me think of that. You know how you see like employees or coworkers will play that trust game or all these trust type games where they'll make you fall back on them and oh, you hope they're holding you. To me, that's like an example of this safety we feel in certain places or with a certain person. Like we trust them. But if we
Mm-hmm.
don't feel safe, we're not going to trust them.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
quite.
Yeah, that's such a good analogy because it makes me think when I was a kid and then I would do the trust fall with my friends
Mhm.
and they would be right behind me. They would be right behind me, but I myself could not bring myself to fall back. Even if
Really?
even if I knew they were there, I would still look behind me like, are you sure you're not going to move at the last second? Are you sure it's okay for me to fall? And so like it really is like we think it's because I have to trust them, but if they're right there and you still don't want to fall, it's because you yourself you don't feel safe, right?
Yeah, I don't trust myself.
Yeah. And it's scary. I mean, it is scary because we're not in control of other people. Like, yeah, they could move at the last second and let us fall. They could.
Yeah, they really could. But in essence, if I trust myself, the question comes, what's the worst that could really happen?
Yeah.
Like normally in that, talking about the trust fall. Normally in that situation, where are we? Yeah, I might fall on the ground, but I'm not like falling too hard. Like there's some grass there. And the reality is your friends are there. The people who are catching you are there. And we forget that with surrendering to love, surrendering to loving spaces, places where people are holding us in this safety and security because we think they're not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like in our mind and in our heart, we're like, oh, they're not going to understand. They're not there.
Yeah.
They're not present. And they were there the whole time, ready to catch you, whether it was in the trust fall or just in any circumstance. They were there. I just didn't trust myself.
Exactly. That is so so true. And we make these stories about other people, right? Like as you're saying, they're not going to be there. Like they're not going to accept me. They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
love me forever. Um and that might not even be true at all. Like maybe we're the ones that are creating this image of them in our own minds and then we're actually the ones judging them because now we're painting them as this person that cannot be trusted. Um it's really ironic. Then that's the power of the human brain. Um like yeah, I really like earlier when we were talking about how like we hurt ourselves. I think that yeah, we create illusions. Like we create we are actually at the end of the day we are completely living in our own minds. Um, right? It doesn't even matter how someone else shows up. If we believe that they cannot be trusted, we're not going to trust them.
Yeah. We're just not because I've already given myself the talk. Like my self talk is stating They cannot be trusted. And with the power of the human brain, the power of the human mind, I put that on repeat. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
if we used to, we don't really listen to CDs no more, but if it was on the CD or like a tape, it's just on repeat. Like it doesn't stop. It's like it literally does not stop. And we've got that same thought consistently. So what am I going to believe? Once that person comes in to my presence, I don't trust them. Because 1,000 times, 2,000 times, 20,000 times, they say something like we got 70,000 thoughts a day. That's what the research is saying. So if I told myself that 70,000 times a day, yeah, I guess I don't trust that person
Oh yeah.
because it's what I told myself.
Uh,
It's wild.
yeah. We're so silly. We can
It,
be we can be so silly. Like it's kind of cute.
it is. Once we recognize it and we're on this healing process, like you said, you've been doing many things like that sovereignty. You've done this. You examine your own relationship. You help other people do that. What would you say is one of the main things you have to help like a client through when they are learning to let go of this attachment?
Mhm. I think there's a level of stubbornness. That's just immediately like my gut reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Um I still remember I still remember I made this video on TikTok a while back where I think it was the video where I was talking about how like if you're scared of being cheated on or if you're scared of your partner betraying you or something like that, um it's really because you yourself don't feel safe in the
Mm-hmm.
connection. And it's a different story, right? If this person has already, um, like if they give you actual reason to doubt their loyalty, but if you're with someone who is objectively right, like they have shown you nothing but loyalty, and like you're still sitting there like freaking out and making like going into these scenarios in your head about like yeah, oh, like he's gonna cheat on me, like this is gonna end. Like, is it really about him, or is it
Mm-hmm.
because you haven't found a way to let yourself feel safe and like you let yourself be okay being safe in this relationship? Like, it's okay to trust him. Um, and then someone had commented kind of as like a rebuttal to the video. They were like, no, I don't feel safe because in the past I've had a partner who like was very two-faced, and he seemed like he was so sweet, but like he ended up betraying me anyway. And so like sometimes you just sometimes they will betray you, and like it comes out of nowhere. And it was just like this very kind of like, no, you're wrong, because it really is because of them, and I can't feel safe. Right. And I was like, I think that there can be just this level of like insisting it has to be about the other person because that's what we're used to. um but it I promise it's really not, right? Like um it really is about feeling secure from within. And here's the thing, right? Like, if someone does end up betraying you when you least expected it, that's a possibility. That can happen. And then what? And then what? You pick yourself back up together, right? You have the self respect to know this is not the person for me, and you're going to be okay. And I think that's been the hardest thing for me to learn, um,
Mm-hmm.
is that part of love really is letting go of the need to control, right? Like the entire topic of this live. Um, And I know that people are not gonna like this, but it's the truth and we all know it. We cannot control if someone lasts forever. It's not to say that it can't happen. It's not to say that it won't happen. It absolutely can, right? And
Yeah.
absolutely, like, expect and, like, not expect, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but it's okay to believe in that. Um, but it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. Um, and that was so, that even me saying that right now, like, it is so uncomfortable and so sticky and so difficult to say that out loud and to sit with that reality. It sucks, and I know it sucks, but I think it really, like, when you say that and you're like, wait a minute, and I'm still okay. I'm still safe. I'm
Yeah.
still loved. Like, what if, okay, worst case scenario, the whole world goes to shit. Like,
It could happen.
and then what? I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I'm still standing. Like, I still have the power to love myself and to still live a good life. I still have the ability to laugh, right? I still have the ability to heal. I don't even know, like, why I went on this whole rant, but um
It's perfect.
but
It's what needed
that's
to
just
be
what wanted to come
said.
through, is like, oh my god, it just this radical, like, coming home to self moment where you're like, okay, let's go down that rabbit hole. Okay, like, let's go down the spiral. What if you lose everything, and then what, and then what, and then what, and then you're like, oh, I'm still gonna have me. Isn't that and that's okay, and it's
Hmm.
gonna be okay. And then, like, you breathe out this whole sigh of relief, right? And then you're like, okay, spiral over. And now I can come back to my beautiful relationship, and I can create it. I can create this connection from a place of joy, because that's what creates the long-lasting connection, is when you bring love into it, when you bring trust, when you bring all this, like, positive nurturing energy, because you're so safe. You don't have anything to worry about, and so you can
Yeah.
build a relationship where you don't have anything to worry about, because you're approaching it with love and with safety and compassion and groundedness. It really, yeah, it comes full circle. It comes full circle. I hope that makes sense.
It makes total sense to me because that's what we're speaking of. Sometimes we call love attachment
Mm,
or
yeah,
this
yeah.
control. That's not actually love. It's coming from this space of safety, compassion, me admitting my wrongs, me me being willing to be vulnerable with my partner and share some things that I may not have shared with somebody else. All of that is actually love. And to restate what you were talking about is when we're in that space and we allow ourselves to be in that space, that's when the love blossoms. That's when it grows. That's when it can last for 10 years, 20 years,
Yeah.
whatever that relationship is destined to be, when we allow love in. Because another word for surrender to me is allow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to allow love to happen. You can't just say, oh, it's gotta, like, let's just use this as a quick example. If he don't show up on Tuesday, I know his name starts with a K and he's got to be this. I know I'm going to find him on this particular dating app and he's got brown hair. And I've been given all these
Oh yeah.
stats. It
Oh
doesn't even have to look like
yeah.
that.
I I love that you're saying this, because this is very important. Like, I actually wanted to make sure that I say this before we end this call. I don't know how much longer that we're gonna go on for, but like, this is so important. This is so important. Um, I I don't understand when, have you ever seen like the videos about how to manifest a specific person?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you know how many times people have said, "Yeah, I got my manifestation and it did not make me as happy as I thought it would." Or like I've
Mm.
manifested a specific person and then like I've just seen people talk about this, right? And like, "Oh, but
Yeah,
then
because
like
they'll do celebrities or anybody. They want to manifest. It could be anybody they're trying to manifest.
and then like they don't even end up really vibing with that person." Um
True.
and it's because I mean, it doesn't really make sense to exert that level of control over who you're calling into your life because then they're not even choosing you. Like, don't you want someone who wants you? Isn't that the whole point? Like, you want to be in a connection where someone is actively choosing you and they want you instead, like, right? Like, if you are holding on so tightly to needing to have control, and the example that I wrote in my notes a while ago is like if you're in the early stages of like dating someone, for example, and they are very clearly not ready for a relationship, and like maybe they tell you like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not like looking for like a relationship, but like if you still kind of like insist like, oh well, I can change his mind, or like, you know, maybe if I stick around for long enough like it'll happen. I see a lot of girls with anxious attachment like doing that because it's like it's the stubbornness, right? Like it's the need, like it has to be this person. Like maybe if I love him hard enough, like he'll come around, right? Um,
Yeah.
but why would you like really think about it? Like why would you do that and need to have this control over like he needs to, you know, want a relationship with me? Like you're not even allowing, as you said, you're not allowing the other person to choose you. Um, and so you're already starting off this connection kind of on unstable ground, right? Because like they weren't even the one that wanted you in the first place. Um, and I just, yeah, I think that you deserve to have someone who you know, they would choose you even if you're not choosing yourself, right? Like on the days when you're beating yourself up, right? Like you want someone who will come to you and be like, no, I love you, I got
Yeah.
you, I'm gonna help you get through this, right? Like you don't want the person that you have to convince to show up for you. um and so yeah, I think that it's actually a very powerful thing for yourself in the long run, especially to let go of control, because then you allow the right person that literally wants you, that will choose you, instead of, yeah, like kind of wanting to own them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't want to own nobody. And I don't want anybody to feel like they're forced to be
Right.
with me.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Well, tell me, how can people connect with you? I know you have some courses, other things.
Hmm.
Tell me.
Yeah. So the easiest place to start would be with my free masterclass, Secure Within.
Mhm.
It's on my website. All you have to do is put in your email. Super, super easy to join. And I talk about some of the major mindset shifts that you need and just like tangible tools that you can use to start to become more secure. Um, if you're looking for more support and specifically individualized guidance, like my what makes working with me super unique is it's not just coaching, right? Like I'm not just giving you like solutions that I can give to anybody, right? It's like channeled messages for you. Um,
Yeah.
I think that the most magic happens when I do a channeling session, right? And if you don't know what that is, it's just I mean, like some people would just call it being psychic. Like I don't really I don't use that word a lot just because I don't know, I don't resonate with it as much, but it's the same thing, right? Like I'm a
Yeah.
psychic. um it's just like opening up my connection to the infinite intelligence that knows everything about you, right? It's like I could say something about someone in a channeling session and they're like, how did you know that about me? Like, how did you know that I needed to hear that exact thing? Right? And it's I don't know. It's just because God
You
knows.
allow,
And
going back to your,
and
just
I
allowing.
I am the channel for that information, for the healing to come through. Um and so like if that's something that speaks to you, like I would definitely book a session with me. We can do like a package. um I can also do like a longer like one-on-one coaching, but like yeah, if you want to start small, just like book one intuitive healing session with me and just yeah, watch the magic happen.
Yes, we're just going to witness the magic. Witness the magic.
Literally.
Well, thank you again, Carolyn. This was amazing. I'm going to go back and watch it myself and pick up. I do that every time because I'm learning with these heart to hearts. I learn stuff about myself I can apply just as the audience and as you, the guest, learns too. Because if we're not open to that growth, I'm like, what are we here for? I mean, you said some things that stuck out to me. I'm like, let me think about that. Let me ponder. Can I do this better? Can I change this?
Mm,
Hmm.
that's what, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I love about you. Like it, because I think that that can be my weakness sometimes, right? Like I love to just talk
Yeah.
about something and to think about it and to like read all the self-development books, but then if you don't do anything about it, what's the point?
Yeah, you gotta do something. Even if I'm always telling people, because I know you do this as well, like you teach embodiment. I'm like,
Mm,
embodiment to me means just applying one little thing. Because if I learn today, let's say I learned something today about nutrition that, matter of fact, I'm gonna use an example from something a couple of weeks ago. I would follow this lady, fitness person here on Instagram. And she was sharing this thing about fiber. And she mentioned, women, if you want a flat belly, you should be getting 30 grams of fiber. What did Elvira do? I paused and said, how many grams of fiber am I getting a day? I went back and consistently, maybe for the last 6 months to a year, maybe almost 2 years, it's been around 15 or 20. So what did I do? When I went grocery shopping last week, I got flax seeds, chia seeds, prunes, dates. I got hot fiber. I bought blackberries, raspberries, because she mentioned all of this stuff that's rich in fiber. I got it. I bought it. And I've been eating it. I didn't just say, oh, yeah, because I've been telling myself I want a flatter stomach. I have this goal to lose 2 inches off of my belly. And people may be like, oh, you're really tiny. Well, I want a smaller waist. Like, y'all don't get it. And so when she said that, it struck home to me because I was not getting enough fiber and I could feel it in my gut too.
oh
So
yeah.
I applied what she said and just said, saying, oh, yeah, that's great information. Let me go get Wendy's. Like,
Oh,
I
that's so
need to
funny.
go get, and I
um
love some Wendy's now. Give me a chicken nugget.
no, like I feel like I would probably do that. I'm just gonna expose myself. I would probably do. I'd be like, oh yeah, but I don't feel like, it's like you don't give yourself the time to second guess your decision. You're like, let me just move fast. That you know what my gut is
Yeah,
telling me. This is a my literal gut is telling me I
yeah,
need this.
you're wrong.
Oh, and can I just share something really quick that I think
Okay.
um I I saw this video a long time ago and it was very eye-opening, and it was about how nature itself proves that like we need to eat fiber but at the start of a meal. Like it was the examples were like there's several foods in nature. Like I don't remember all the examples, but one of them is like an orange, and apparently the orange peel is rich with fiber. And so the
Oh,
way that food is literally made naturally is like if you were to just like if you were to just grab an orange off a tree and just start eating it, the first thing that you would eat is the fiber. So
wow.
I thought that was so interesting. Is like we are meant naturally to consume fiber, because I think it helps with digestion, and that's probably why it helps with your tummy, because it helps you to digest properly.
Yeah, and I've noticed just in the week, it's helped my mentals too, because you know this is connected to this, is connected to this, all of the
Yeah.
stuff like surrender, attachment. I don't feel as crazy or whatever because I'm taking care of my gut. Yeah. It's all connected. Well, again, thank you, Carolyn. This has been another edition of Heart to Heart. May you flourish today and
Yay!
forever.
Thank you so much. This was
Yeah.
amazing.
All right, my dear. Everybody, y'all have a great day.
Bye.
Okay.